Hey everyone, welcome back to another video and welcome back to this practice lesson. So in this one, we're finally going to actually solve this problem. As always, the starter file is in the resource section, and also it was in the previous sections, resource section as well, previous videos resource section. And also, but at the end, you can now also access the completed version, completed file too, the full code essentially. So I want you to, again, take some time to try to solve this by yourself. I talked about it in a previous lesson. We kind of went through the structure here. But again, hopefully you took some time to, practice this by yourself and try to solve this by yourself. Either way, let's actually get into it. So I want us to think about this a little bit. I have the diagram in front of me. And I want us to think about how we can actually achieve this. So we got the name input and the bit input, right? These are numbers and names. And then we got the, we add these names to a dictionary. We know how to do these, we've talked about it. And then we're going to see if there are any other bidders. If that's a no, we're going to end the program. And if that's a yes, we're going to go back. So right off the bat, we can actually see a few things. First, we can see a while loop, right? Because we're looping through this section. So this is a while loop, right? So right off the bat, we have that. And then we have another condition that if there are any other bidders and the answer is no, we end the program. So how can we actually end a program? And for that, we can actually use a Boolean value, right? If you remember, we talked about this. We can actually, for example, we talked about it when we were making a game. If I remember correctly, we had this thing that we had this variable that would say end of the game equals false, and then if you would achieve certain objectives, we would turn that value to true, and then the loop would end essentially. So we can do the same thing here as well. So that's something we have right off the bat. Now, one of the things that we have to do here is that we have to obviously add these to these value into a dictionary, but then actually we have to find a way to look inside the dictionary. And we can do that using, a while loop as well, a for loop, either way. And we can use a for loop for that in this case, obviously, because while loop is just for, we're going to use it for the running through this command over and over. But for loop, we're going to use a for loop to look inside a dictionary. So again, that's a pretty simple, straightforward thing, and we can do that. Now, my approach to this is that I want us to create a function. Okay, because there are, again, different ways to achieve this, but I want us to create a function, and this function is going to find the highest bidder, and we can implement this function inside our while loop because we need to find the highest bidder, right? So, and then if there are any other bidders, the answer is no, and it's going to find the highest bidder. So this is a function, right? So we need to find the highest bidder inside the dictionary and declare the winner. So that's another thing that we have to do. So I'm thinking that we go ahead and create the basics. First would be, like maybe an empty list, and the condition that whether the bidding is finished or not. And then we go and we make the function that is going to determine the highest bidder, and then we're going to finish the structure of this whole thing, which is getting the value from the user and adding them to the dictionary and all sorts of other stuff. So that is just that's just me like thinking out loud, trying to figure this out. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to import a module, the replit module, and the reason I would do this is that let's just do replit import clear. The reason I want to do this is that, first of all, if you think about it, this program is going to clear each time we have a new person, right? So like, again, if we come here and if there are any other bidders, we're going to clear the screen. So the next person is not going to be able to see this person's bid, right? So we need to clear the screen. So we got to just import that. Again, if you remember, when we import a module from another another Python module, or like even from another code inside our project, we just do it right at the top, right? That's the first thing you want to do. So that's just something I'm doing right at the beginning. Anyway, so with that being said, let's go ahead and create our list. I'm just going to say bids, all right, and we're going to create a curly bracket list. This is an empty dictionary, right? What else? So let's actually go ahead and create the end of the while loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a value called bidding finished. There you go. So this is essentially false. So this is essentially the condition where we end the loop. So when we're gonna if there are any other bidders, if that's the answer is no, we're gonna end it, right? So while this is actually yes, while the answer is yes, when there are other bidders, we're gonna have to loop through this over and over, right? And we do this using this variable. So like right now it's false because the program is starting, but again, when we get to a point where we want to finish it, we just change it to true, and that it's going to end the program, right? And again, you'll see that in action in a second. But so we got the basics. Let's go ahead and start our function. So I'm just going to create a function. We're going to define a function. We're going to call this, let's see, we're going to call this highest bidder. All right. And let's have one value inside. We're going to call this bidding record. All right. So just like that, again, this is just a function for finding the highest bidder. All right. So let's go ahead and start adding the stuff. So the first thing we want to do is we want to have a variable to store the highest bid, right? So we're going to start from the 0. So I'm just going to say highest bid equals 0. So that just like that, we got a value that is storing the highest bid. Great. So next one is we're going to have a winner. So this is again a value for storing the winner's name. So it's storing the name of the winner, right? The person, the user's name. So that's what we're going to do. And next, we're going to loop through the bidding record. So like, we're going to like create a for loop to look through all the values inside this bid, dictionary, right? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to say for bidder in bidding record, right? And we're going to say bid amount equals bidding record bidder. So the idea with this is to get the bid amount. All right. So again, we're just trying to get the bid amount right off the bat, so that's what we're doing. And that's how it works, bid amount. And there you go. So we get the bidding record. And again, this is the key, right? So if you pay attention, what is happening is that this variable is going to get the key value, and then this this bracket here is going to get the value of that key. So like that's how we get the bid amount, right? So the user, that would be in this case, the name of the person is going to be their the key, and then their bid is going to essentially be the value, the pair value, right? So that's how we get it. So anyways, now we're going to have to check if the bid amount is greater than the highest bid. So one of the reasons we want to do this is that we start with a 0, right? So every time we check through each record in the dictionary, we want to add it to the highest bid. So finally, we find the highest bid using this strategy. So we start with a 0, and each time we add it, and we add and check for that. So we got to do that right now. So we're going to see, so we're going to say if bid amount equals bid, or actually maybe, yeah, that we're gonna say bigger, right? Highest bid, right? So we're gonna check if the bid amount is greater than the highest bid. We're gonna say highest bid equals bid amount. So the idea with this is that what we do here is that we're going to check if the bid amount is greater than the highest bid, and then if yes, then set the bid amount as the highest bid. So like that's what we're doing here, right? And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to set the bidder as the winner too. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to say winner equals bidder. So just like that, we set the bidder as the winner. And then finally, what we're going to do is we're going to print. So I'm just going to make sure we indent it right. We're going to do an F string here. So let's just go F string. So we're going to say the winner is winner with a bid of, let's add a $sign here as well. So we can, because the value is going to be in pure number, highest bid. There you go. So just like that, we print the winner. So this is our function. Let's go over this again. I want us to make sure, I want you to know exactly what is happening here. So we define a function and we got a value inside a function, a parameter inside this function, right? So then we start with the highest bid, which is 0 when this function is running, and the winner name, which is none, right? When this function is running. And then we use a for loop to loop through the bidding record, okay? And that would be, the bidder in the bidding record. So that would be what we're going to enter in this function, right? So we're gonna say if the bid amount, right, is bigger, that is a bid amount is equal bidder record as a bidder. So this is just a good. This is essentially going to get the bid amount. And then next one, using an if statement, we're going to check if the bid amount is greater than the highest bid. So again, this is the highest bid, and if it is bigger than the highest bid, what we're going to say, and if that's a yes, we're going to set the bid amount as the highest bid, and if that's a no, then nothing's going to happen, and then set the bidder as the winner. So just like that, we actually set it as the winner, right? So again, just like that, we find the highest value. Now, one of the things I'm going to do in the final file is I'm going to actually comment all of these so you have a better understanding of how the whole thing works. But anyways, so with that being said, we have the function done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create our while loop. So we're going to say while not bidding finished. So that means that this our function here, there you go, this variable is false. As long as this is false, just run this while loop, right? So now this is where we get our user's information. So I'm just going to say name equals input, and we're going to say what is your name. So let's give it some space. There you go. All right, so that's the name, and then let's get the price as well, the bidding price. So I'm just going to say price equals, and we're going to get it as an integer. That's very important. So we're going to say input, and what is your bid? What is your bid? And then we put a $sign here as well. So we're going to get the bidding amount. All right. So next, what we need to do is you need to add the bid amount to the dictionary, right? So the way we do this, again, we talked about this, and then we're going to say bids and add it as a name, like equals price. So this is how we add the bid amount to the dictionary. Perfect, right? So just like that, we added that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find out if we should continue. So that's another important thing. So we're going to ask him, are there any other bidders? So that's something we should do. I'm going to add this as a value. I'm going to say as a variable, continue equals input, and we're going to say, are there any other bidders? Yes or no. Well, let's actually add this, and then just like that. All right, so are there any other bidders? Yes, no. And I'm gonna make this a lower. All right, so we make it a function, so it's going to be all lowercase. All right, so now that we ask that information, what I want to do is I want to find out if I should close this program or not. So I'm going to say if should continue equals no, right? I'm going to say, and again, we're checking if the bidding is finished or not. We're going to say bidding finished equals true. So again, that means if they don't want to continue, we're just going to change this to true. That means that the while loop is not going to run anymore, right? So then what we're going to do is we're going to call the highest bidder function after this, right? So because again, when the auction is over, we're going to call the highest bidder. So I'm going to say highest bidder, and then we're going to say bids. So again, this bids value is what the users, the dictionary that the people entered, right? So that is the bid value here, all the entire dictionary essentially, right? And then we're going to say elif, and this is actually if the whole thing is not finished, right? So we're going to say elif not should continue is yes. That's it. What we do here after this, so we're just going to clear this, right? That's what I want to do. So let's actually, there you go. And we're going to clear this. So basically what happens is that if they say that there is more people or are there any other bidders, if the answer is yes, we're going to clear this. And because this didn't change, the program is going to run again and the while loop is going to go start from the top again. So just like that, we finished this thing, right? So anyways, like, let's actually take a look at it. Let me just pull it up. There you go. So let's actually run this and let's take a look at this. Okay, what's your name? Sean. Let's say I bid 19. Are there any other bidders? Yes. Kevin, 29. Are there any other bidders? Yes. So it clears the console. That's cool. That's what we want. And I'm just gonna say, for example, Sophia and 88. All right, there you go. Are there any other bidders? We're gonna say no in this for this case. And I want to actually fix this. This doesn't look good. I want to add maybe a question mark. Anyways, we'll see. Anyway, so if I press no, it's going to say the winner is Sophia with a bid of $88. Perfect. So now this whole thing worked. Great. So guys, that is pretty much it. Let me see if I can make any. Let's see. Let's just make this, let's add something like this here. I don't know. I just want to make it look better. Anyways, so that's pretty much it. So one of the things I want to do by the time you access the final code, guys, is that I'm going to comment this out for you so you can actually take a look at it and understand it a little bit better. So, you know, read the comments, because as we're going down through the course, we're getting to more advanced topics. So I'm going to be commenting all the code out so you can actually see it and understand it better. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions, guys. I hope that you were able to do this. If not, you know, again, watch through the video again, and also look at the commented complete code. So that also helps a lot to understand it better. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'll see you in the next lesson and next videos.